In this section, I'm going to be going over the inserts and effects, and there have been some big improvements, particularly in the insert architecture. So let's take a look at the way it used to be done in previous versions of Cubase by looking at an audio channel, and the inserts work on any audio-capable channel or track, like audio tracks or instrument tracks, and the master ins and outs. But if we look at this clean bass channel right here and then come over to the inspector and look at the inserts by clicking on the inserts tab right here, you can see that there are 8 individual inserts. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is that 6 of the inserts, the very first 6, are all pre-fader, whereas the last 2 inserts are post-fader. So if we look at that in the signal flow of the channel strip here, the sound comes in through the pre-section, then it travels through the inserts 1 through 6, then it goes through the rest of the channel, and finally after it leaves the fader, it goes into inserts 7 and 8. And so now let's look at the new architecture in Cubase 9.5. Let's take this bass guitar track and come over to the inserts and look at the breadth of inserts that we have available to us. So the total number of inserts is now 16, so they've doubled it. And along with having more inserts, you can also choose which inserts are pre-fader and which ones are post-fader. And that's done by moving this little green delineator up or down in the chain here. So if you wanted the first 3 inserts to be pre-fader and the last 13 inserts to be post-fader, which would probably never happen, then you just move the delineator up to where you want it to go. Or if you want it to reflect the older architecture wherein the last 2 inserts were post-fader, then you could drag the delineator down here. So now inserts 1 through 14 are pre-fader, and inserts 15 and 16 are post. And in fact, if you hover over an empty insert, it'll even remind you of which ones are pre and which ones are post. So if I move the delineator up here, now insert slot number 14 becomes post, where if I wanted it to be pre-fader, I would just move the delineator down, and now insert 14 is pre-fader. So now what's going to happen in the channel strip is that the signal is going to come in through the pre-section, then it's going to travel through the inserts until it hits the green delineator. Wherever that's placed is where it will stop processing through the last populated insert slot. Then it goes through the rest of the channel, then it hits the fader itself, and the signal comes out of that fader and travels through the inserts that are located under the delineator, indicating that they would be post-fader. And the delineator is also represented in any version of the mix console, and to show that to you, I'm just going to load an insert into the 14th slot here, then type F3 on my computer keyboard, and that will allow us to see all of the insert slots, and you'll notice that every single audio-compatible channel has that delineator, so it can be moved to different places on different audio channels. Here we are on the track that we were looking at, and its audio channel shows the mod machine in slot number 14, leaving the 15th slot and the 16th one underneath it, post-fader. So those are the new audio inserts and routing thereof. Next, let's talk about Magneto Mark III.